Hello, my friends. Hey, Brenda. How are
Hello
you?
there.
I'm going to see if I can wave right. There we go. You're over there.
I'm always trying to
my
fix
friends.
my
So
hair.
glad you're here. Brenda is here to be my most amazing moderator, the best moderator in the whole wide room. And we're super excited to share these cards with you. Hey, I have some new equipment. If you guys remember last week, we had some crazy, ridiculous issues with going live. So Mr. Awesome and all his tech knowledge has got me hooked up. So, Brenda, if we have any issues with audio or anything, let me know. But hopefully we will be good and the quality will be better. So I do appreciate you guys going back to watch the video because I had to just go and pre-record it. But from what I understand, there were a lot of YouTubers that were having issues last Thursday. So we've got a fantastic card. You guys love the Now Wow or Holy Cow series. And so, yeah, I've got 3 cards to share with you. Now, you're going to want to make sure you stick around to the end because the cards just kind of like keep getting a little better and a little better. So we've got a really great set of 3 cards. If you got a few minutes, I got you covered. If you got a few more minutes, you want to step it up a notch, I got you covered. And if you really want to go all out, you're going to love the wow card. So I'll tell you what, we are going to switch gears. Let me get over to my stamping table. You guys can see I've got a really great download for you with the pictures of the cards. You're going to have the measurements for the Now, the Wow, and the Holy Cow. Because, of course, as we step it up, that means we're probably using some more pieces of cardstock and things. I always like to point this out. If you ever need to go back and watch the video, this has a link attached to it when you save it to your computer, and you can go back and watch it. And then to order any of the supplies. If you fall in love with this sweet songbird set, when I'm done, you can just click right here and go and order the items that you need. If you don't have a demonstrator, oh, I would love to be your demonstrator. So, all right, are you guys ready to get started? Tell you what, we're going to start with the Now card. So keep in mind, this is quick, easy. We're going to make this in minutes. A little bird told me, it's your special day. Just a simple, easy card. So we're going to start with this one. And let me tell you the supplies you're going to need. So I've got some polished pink cardstock. And this is cut 5.5 by 8.5. But I cut off 1 by 5.5. Okay. So I just cut off a 1-inch strip. So really, this is 7.5 inches long. All right. That's easy enough. You know, when it's a Now card, we also don't want a lot of pieces. So sorry, the dogs are now gearing up in the background. I have a piece of basic white. This one is I got to look, it is a 4 by 5.25. And then I have another piece that's 2.5 by 3. For that, we've got a piece of basic black to layer that on, 2 3/4 by 3.25. Okay, here we go. Roxy, please be quiet. Okay. So first things, let's talk about this stamp set. It's Sweet Songbirds, a really great stamp set, guys. And it comes, you can order it as a bundle with the punch. I love the punch, but you know what? When we're creating a card now, sometimes we just want to create now. So we're going to use just the stamp set here. And I've got 3 ink pads I'm going to be using. A little polished pink, Mango Melody, and then my Memento Black. I'm going to start here with my polished pink. And this stamp set, oh my goodness. Anyone else have dogs and deal with this craziness behind me? Tugger, it's you. I know it. I'm going to take... You know, I've always had really good luck, and they're usually asleep whenever I do a live, but not today. I am going to take that little cute, adorable flower, and I'm just stamping it. You see, I'm just stamping randomly. I hope you're dog people. By the way, they're not killing each other. This is play. I promise you. It sounds wicked, but it's really not. All right, we're going to add some of those flowers all along there. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead since I've got that flower out. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of my card. And I'm going to bring in that Memento Black ink pad. Let me move this one off to the side because I don't want to accidentally do something like ink in the wrong color. We're going to take the little music notes and all down the right side of this card. You notice how I'm just kind of rotating back and forth? Roxy. Sorry, guys. I am really sorry. You know, they have never done this. It's just crazy. Today is the day. Now I'll come in with the flower, and I'm just going to come in between. You see how I'm just kind of rocking back and forth in between these? See if I'll get one more right there. Oops. So we have that. Now we're going to go ahead and add our sentiment. So here on the front, we're going to say, a little bird told me, and you're just going to stamp that right there. A little bird told me. And now we're going to say, it's your special day. Now let's bring in that mango melody, and we're going to stamp, it's your special day. By the way, there's several different sentiments in here that you can use. It's your special day. And yeah, we'll bring in that pink. Let's add a quick little pink flower here. We love to decorate the inside, right, guys? Let's see. Dolores is here from Surprise, Arizona. I just love that. I love Surprise, Arizona. All right, so we have this. Now let's stamp our image here for our little bird. You know what? Let me go ahead and bring in, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And here's what we're going to do with our bird. I've got my mango melody. And we are going to stamp this bird. Now we got to leave some room for the feet. Okay, so let's make sure we leave some room. But I'm going to stamp this. Just, you know what? I think he's just going to go right there in the middle. Right there in the middle in the mango melody. Now, do you see this little open part? We have got another piece for this. Let me grab my grid paper because I'm going to stamp off once. Those dogs. I promise you guys, they're not killing each other. I promise you. Would you two stop? Pardon me. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. It's like having children. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's always something. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to stamp. Oh, I got a little low. Should have come up a little bit higher. We're going to stamp feet right there. Now, here's something else that's in this set. I'm going to keep it easy. And I'm going to stamp the beak in black. And then there's two sets of eyes, but I like these little eyes closed. I just think they're really cute. And now we can add some music notes here. And I'm going to have a little fun with that pink flower again. So I'm going to put a little flower in her hair. And this polished pink, I found really works quite well right over that mango melody. It worked out pretty good. So now I wanted to give a center to that flower. Sharpie to the rescue. Love to use just a simple Sharpie. So we're going to color that in just a little dot. Okay. And by the way, you are welcome to also come in and do that on all of these flowers. But you know, this is a now card. So we're looking for quick and easy. So here we go. I'm going to dig around on my desk. I've got so much out today. I really do. There we go. Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff on my desk when you're making 3 cards. We're going to add this. Now, let me move that black ink pad because I'll end up sticking my hand in it. We'll add this here. Melody says, my little dog Chloe is asleep. Oh, I wish I knew what that was like right now. They're calming down now. Okay, see, I got myself so frustrated. That is a word, frustrated, that I wasn't paying attention to where to put my adhesive. So let me see. I should not have gone over this far. Do you see what I'm doing though? You know, we're crafters. We always come up with a fix for everything. I did not need adhesive that far over because it's going to center up right here. See how we have that? Oh, good. I did all right. So, you know, do as I say, not as I do. We don't want adhesive over on that end. Now we can add our inside piece to our card. And this is what's kind of fun with this little decoration, this little stamping that we did on the side. when it's closed, look, see, we have a little stamping there. A little birdie told me it's your special day. That is an easy, easy now card, right? Okay. So now let's move on to the wow card. Move things out of the way. This one, we took that piece that we cut off and look, now we created a little fancy flap. So we're going to get a little creative now with this card. So we are going to start with that powder pink, or I'm sorry, polished pink, forgive me. And, you know, I just told you about this. We're just going to cut off 1 inch. Very simple to do. We've cut off our 1 inch. And this piece, oh, I shouldn't have put this away yet, because what we're going to do with this is we're going to score it now at 3/4 of an inch. And by the way, let me just tell you, there's no right or wrong to where you score it. That's just where I'm scoring it. And I'm actually now going to cut it down to about 4 1/4. Again, no right or wrong on where you cut it, but that's going to make our cute little flap for our cards. So we will take this, and this is going to attach right there. We're going to get to that here in just a second, because we're going to keep working with our other pieces of cardstock. So just like before, I've got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for the inside. And then I have a couple more pieces. So I have a 1 1/2 by 2 1/2 and a 3 by 3. So we've added a couple pieces to our wow card. And for our basic black, we've got some different pieces here as well. So I have a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 and another 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. What are we going to do with those? Let me show you. So I am going to use the Stylish Shapes dies. This has been one of my go-tos here lately. Hope you guys have seen this one in the catalog, because it is really fantastic, because they're stitched. So they've got a great look. And we have squares, we have circles, and we have banners. So it's an awesome one. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the 2 largest squares, and we're going to use this banner. So not the teeny tiny one, but we don't need these really long ones. So we're going to go with these. And let me show you what we're going to do. We are going to cut a banner from the basic black, and the largest square, and you'll know because the square in the black is a little bit bigger. And then we'll take that smaller one, and we're going to cut from the basic white. This last piece of basic white, go ahead and grab yourself 1 more banner. Okay, so that is your cutting. So I'm going to move all this out of the way, and we're going to bring in some pieces. So I've already die cut all of those pieces. Okay, and there's my white one. So everything is die cut. We're ready to stamp. All right, so here we go. We're going to start. Now this one, let me bring in my previous cards. He had a great big area for this bird. And now we got a little bit smaller space. So here's what we are going to do to create that. Bring in my black ink pad. So for this one, I am going to start with the music notes way up here in the upper left corner. Now I'm going to bring in that Mango Melody. This time I'm going to make sure I stamp my bird up just a little bit higher, because I don't want to knock him off his feet, or her, because she is a her. We're putting a little flower in her hair. And you remember we had this inside piece, and just like before, we're going to stamp off, because that's going to give us this lighter color. And I love that because it kind of stretches my ink pad. So I don't just have Mango Melody. I have Mango Melody in a lighter shade as well. Instantly done. Okay, let's bring in some feet. I'm curious if you guys, oh, Sarah says she loves the background noise. Boy, I'm glad you do, because they're driving me nuts. So let's add the feet. We'll add the beak. So you've already seen me do this part. This is kind of what we've already done. But don't worry, for these other cards, I've already done some of this for you, so you don't have to watch everything all over again. We'll come in now with the polished pink, put that little bow, or not bow, the little flower in her hair. and come in with that Sharpie. Okay, let me move ink pads out of the way again so I can show you. Actually, I guess I won't move those ink pads out of the way. I am going to, just like you saw me do, I am going to stamp all over the front of the card. So you guys have seen that. And I also, in advance, went ahead and stamped the inside of the card. Okay, so this is all stuff you've seen me do. So now to put the card together, let's take that little flap. You remember that great little flap? And looking for my adhesive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive on this 3/4 inch flap. And you can kind of put it wherever you want. Just don't go too low. But we're just going to line it up. Can you see? We're just lining it up with the edge. But it's on the inside, okay? Because we don't want that ugly over here. So it's there on the inside. And now we're going to add the inside of our card right on top of it. So that's, but you know what? Let's do that at the end because I want to make sure I've got everything set where I want it before I get too dedicated, okay? So to put this together, this is what's kind of fun. We are going to adhere our square. This is the one that we cut. And I'm going to put it, you know what? I think I'm going to center it up here in my card, just like that. And so we'll just add a little adhesive. This is not going to show, but there is the flap. Hope you guys are with me on this one. So that's easy enough. Now I'm going to take my stamped image here, and we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals because Stampin' Dimensionals makes everything better. So we'll add, I'll just go with 4. If you want a 5th one there in the middle, you know, we'll add a 5th one. Sometimes I just got to make sure I'm getting enough dimensionals on there that it doesn't squish. Let's see. Oh, Michelle, thank you. She says, your card looks adorable. I appreciate that. This one is such a fun one. And, you know, I loved Mango Melody for the bird. I just thought it was just different from, you know, your typical maybe Daffodil Delight. So we're going to do kind of just like we did before. By the way, you notice I didn't pre-stamp A Little Bird Told Me. Well, I did that because I didn't know where it was going to go. It's all going to be determined on where that flap goes. So I can put this anywhere. How about right here? A Little Bird Told Me. And of course, we already stamped the exact same way. You saw me do that. Now would be a good time to go ahead and add this to the center or the inside of our card. And it's going to give us that really great look, just like we had before. But look, now we have this fun little flap. Now, I kind of like, even with a wow card, I want something extra. So I'm going to bring in some of this glittered organdy ribbon. And I'm going to tie that in a square knot here on the flap. So I'll go right over left and under. My little trick with square knots is give that kind of a tight pull so that pulls together, and then we'll go left over right and under. And you guys see, I'm leaving it on the spool. I save ribbon that way. I guess I should have given myself a little bit longer tail because I'm fighting with it. Only pull what's in your left hand. So when you pull, see how you get that pretty square knot? I'm going to trim this down so it's adorable. I always leave myself plenty here on the side so that I can trim it down just in case. And guys, there is my wow card. You notice it didn't take me that long to step it up. So everything else I did exactly the same. So that is nice. We've got some dimension. We've got some ribbon. We've got a flap. That's a lot for a wow card. But now let's talk about the Holy Cow card. This one, woohoo, we're bringing in some designer series paper. And now, can you see, we're going to bring in that matching punch and give, oh my goodness, stop. I just realized I did not do that card correctly. You're going, Connie, what about those other 2 pieces? Yes, goodness gracious. See, those dogs have me so flustered. It's easy to blame the dog, isn't it? Okay, we're going to add a couple. We're going to just back up. We're just backing up. So I have stamped A Little Birdie Told Me. I thought that looked awfully quiet. So I'm going to take this banner and I'm just going to cut it in half. And we'll add some adhesive here. And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to stretch. Ready? So we'll add a little stretch there. Live is always fun for me because, you know, I know how to make the card, but then sometimes I just forget what I'm working on. There we go. Do you see? Isn't that fun? Just kind of gives it a little bit more. Let's bring in some more Stampin' Dimensionals. You're going to see this card is going to look a whole lot cuter once we get those dimensionals on there and we get the actual die cuts on there and make it look a little bit more wow. But you know, you don't have to. I think that looks cute, but you know what? I think that looks cuter. So we'll add, there we go. Yeah, now it's a wow. Very, very simple card. Okay, now I'm going to bring you in to the holy cow. And yes, this one is the one that we're going to be using. Look at lots of layers, lots of good stuff going on here. So here's what we're going to do with this card. Let me bring in your supplies. You guys kind of already know this is that polished pink, 7.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4. And remember that strip? Yep, we've cut it down just like we did before. Now, here's where we get into a lot of extra pieces. Are you ready? Lots of basic black here. And by the way, I need to tell you this piece, I accidentally left it off of my download. My apologies. This is a 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be on the inside. So I apologize that I left that off. I have 2 pieces here, and these are a 3 by 5 1/4. And now we have a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 basic black. And just a reminder, we're going to die cut that. And then we have 2 more pieces of basic black. This one is the one that we did with the banner. All right. So that was a 1.5 by 2.5. And this little piece of this little piggy is a 1 1/4 by 2. And we're going to do something fun with that. So let's bring in our white pieces. This one is a little bit smaller than the one we've been cutting. So this one is a 3 3/4 by 5. Why? Because we are going to layer it. Okay. It's going to be layered on there. And then I have 2 pieces of 3 by 3. And we're going to take 1 piece and we will die cut our square. All right. But now let's talk about this piece, because we got all these great pieces going on here. Oh, designer series paper. And we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. I chose, this is from the Brights collection, and I chose the one with the flowers because I thought it went so well with the little flower in her hair. It kind of had the same look. But you know what? Designer series paper is gorgeous on both sides. So pick your favorite. And by the way, these are 2 3/4 by 5. You know what? Since we've got these here and I want to read some comments, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these to that basic black and see what you guys have to say. Tara says, I blame my mistakes on my sugar level because she doesn't have any pets. I know. I hear you. We got to blame someone, you know, crafting errors. They can't be our fault. Has to belong to someone else. I hear you, Tara. All right. We're going to add that there. Michelle says, I haven't used my square dies in a while, so this gives me excuse to pull them out. Absolutely. And by the way, if you do not have this stamp set, oh my goodness, this idea is going to work with so many different stamp sets. Get creative. Just use the idea. And also, if you wanted to create circles instead of squares, feel free. This project is going to work exactly the same. It's not going to be a problem. Now, on our previous card, we stamped all over this, but we're going to let the designer series paper be the show. So we do not need to do that flower stamping on our holy cow card. So we're going to add this panel to the front, and then we'll add another panel here on the inside. Lori asked, what is the name of the designer series paper? This is the Brights designer series paper. So you'll get all 10 Brights colors in that pack. And I believe you get 4 of each. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 4 of each. So there is the designer series paper. That's all put in place. let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and attach our flap. So just like we did before, scored at 3/4 of an inch, and I cut it down to about 4 1/4. Remember this little weird guy? We are going to add it right here, just right up to that score line. Easy, easy. And this just kind of gave just a little, just a nice little border behind it. So center that up. There we go. Now, you remember how we added this here. Let's go ahead and do that again. And we'll add our adhesive to our little flap. Of course, having that black cardstock on there sure makes it easy because you get to see right where the edge of that is. All right, you guys see where we're going? Okay, let's go ahead and take our black square. And let's see, for this one, I'm actually going to bring it over a little bit more. But it's a little tight, right? It's just a little tight over there. Guys, no one is going to see this. So we can just cut off a little bit if we need to. So you saw me kind of do this before. We'll just put, I got to make sure I'm doing that right. No, I'm not. Goodness, Connie. It's a good thing my fingers do the job. I've got an adhesive remover around here somewhere, but you know what? Looks like my fingers did the trick. Let's make sure, let's put our adhesive here. That way we don't mess up. Okay, here we go. I want to make sure I've centered up my square. That looks good. Okay. Debbie says, I hate spell check. Right? It never works the way we want, does it? Okay. I have my little birdie told me, and it's just like we did before. Added my little black dots there in the middle of my flowers with my Sharpie. I'm just going to go ahead and add this right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing, and that is the inside of my card. Then I'm going to show you the tricks to my bird. So you notice it's all stamped exactly the same way. It was just a little bit smaller cardstock so I could put that black mat behind it. Now, you guys know I really do like to save cardstock and conserve cardstock. So you may be wondering, Connie, why didn't you cut that from back here? I struggle sometimes when I'm going to write a message if I have something die cut from behind this piece. You're welcome to do that, but I'd recommend that you write on your white cardstock before you adhere it down, because you know when you're writing and then you hit a bump where that square is, and these two pieces were not quite big enough. So that's why I did bring in an extra piece. But you could, if you wanted to, your little banner, remember how we made that? You could have die cut that from back here because we're not doing any writing on it. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to work on our bird. And guys, I have already done, which you've already seen me do. I've already stamped the music notes and my bird. He has no eyes. She has no eyes and no beak. Don't worry about it. It's not going to show, because we're going to take that remaining piece of 3 by 3 and we're going to create another bird, because this one is the one we're going to punch out. So I'm going to do that down here. Whoops, let me get my mat. I get better whenever I have a big solid image and it's photopolymer. I do better with my Stampin' Pierce mat. So we'll stamp. Don't worry about where, because we're going to be punching this out. And of course, we're going to do our little center stamp off. Hope you guys are still with me. And we'll stamp that here. Gail says, I've been looking at this set, and with these cards I'm sold. I love that. I'm so glad you're liking the inspiration. That makes my day. This really is a sweet card. So I'm going to come in now with the punch, and we're going to punch out this bird. And now I can come in. There's a little, do you notice this? This is a little extra wing. And we're just going to stamp that right there. And we'll come in. Oh my, let me stamp it the other way. That's why I always give you extra cardstock, because I didn't quite stamp it the right direction. But you've got plenty on here. I gave you plenty to work with. And we can punch out a wing. And I want you to see there's also, do you see there's also a little beak? You're welcome to do that too. But I was good. I was good with just stamping it. So I'm going to leave it like that. So here's my wing. Here's my bird. Now this one that we've punched out, we do want to stamp all the pieces. Okay. We want to stamp the eyes and the beak. All right. And so for that little extra wing, we're going to add that right here. You know what? I think I'll just bring in a mini glue dot. It'll just be nice and quick. But you guys know you can use your favorite adhesive here. But sometimes when I've got just a little piece, I don't know. I just find my mini glue dots to be very easy to work with. So there's our bird. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this. But I want to add that flower. So here's how we're going to add that flower. I have inked that up and I'm going to stamp it right here. Ready? We're going to lay our bird right on top. Ooh, that wing is a little high. We'll just give it a little twist. I'm going to lay that right here. Oh, no, I really did put that wing a little high. We'll see if we can move that down. Yes, we can. And now you know why I don't adhere things down all the way. Okay, see how we're seeing that little bit of the flower? Well, if I hold my tongue just right, I can see that. And I'm going to stamp right there. And now we'll kind of get a nice little punched image just to be on the safe side. I'll color in that one. And I'm going to color in that one. Now we're going to give this some Stampin' Dimensional fun on the back. By the way, I'm going to use some minis and I'm going to use some big ones because I want to get that wing and his tail. And now I can come in with my bigger dimensionals. Ooh, getting to the end of this one. Let's get one more here. Oh, Margie says that's so cute. I'm so glad you like it. This is just, it really has become a new favorite. It was time to get an Inky. You know, I've had it. I kept thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, it's time to get this bird out. Honestly, the other inspiration for me is we've just had so many birds here in my area, especially ducks and geese. I've got a pond out back and the ducks and the geese are just everywhere. All right. So you see how I just popped that right off of there and now the flower just kind of blends? Yeah, that was easy. It really is not a difficult thing to do. All right, we're going to now add this with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Hopefully I have enough on here. I do not. So we'll use some minis because, you know, we improvise. Didn't realize that sheet was getting so low. Time to refill. But the minis will work too. And you guys know, you've seen me talk about it. I can always use the bones. We never throw these away because we can cut those off and we can use those on there as well. Everything has a use. Let's go ahead and add another one here in the middle. I love the mini dimensionals though. What if these, I think these have been out for a few years now and they're so awesome because sometimes with die cuts and punches, you have tiny little areas and the bigger dimensionals can be almost a little too big. We will add that. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring in my original here so you can see I added a bow this time to my sweet little bird. Just put a bow on that one. And now look at that. That is a wow card for sure, right? That is a big wow. I love it. I love the look at the designer series paper. So let's go ahead and bring in all three cards. Super simple cards, right? If you have just a couple minutes and boy, you need to get that birthday card out fast, this is a perfect one. But if you have a few more minutes and you want to step it up, why not bring in those stitched shape dies or again, any dies that you have, just get creative. This part, this little flap is always going to work for you. All right. And but boy, you want to really go all out. Why not add that pop of the designer series paper because it really makes for an awesome card. So there we go. That is what we have created today. It sounds like you guys loved that one. Michelle says she never throws those away. Absolutely, right? We never throw away dimensional bones. And Melody says, I love them all, but holy cow is awesome. I agree with you. How about a little show and tell, and then I'll show you the cards we're going to create next week. I have some fun cards that came in the mail this week. This card is from Sue in Michigan. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. And look at what she did. I thought, oh, that's such a pretty card, but it's got some magic inside. Look at that fun little pop. Isn't that a fun card? Love it. She did some stamp and blend work on that one. Love this card. And yeah, just made that with the oval dies. We don't have those anymore, but yeah. And this card, by the way, she could have done it with squares. She could have done it with stitched rectangles. She could have done it with a lot of things, but I thought that oval was just sweet. So thank you, Sue. I got another card from Sandra in Texas, and she was inspired by a card I shared here on a live where, and this is kind of cool. Instead of stamping, she adhered die cuts all over her cardstock, and then she cut from the center. And look at how everything lines up. It's kind of almost like triple stamping, only it was done with die cuts. Loved that. A little aloha there. Just a little note to say hello. Fun card. Very fun card. This last one kind of made my day. This is a postcard from the Netherlands. And I hope I'm going to say her name correctly, INKY or Anika. But yeah, she sent me a postcard from the Netherlands. And I'm telling you, I look at all this and go, I want to go there. I mean, doesn't that look beautiful? So that was just a real treat for me. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our cards for next week. We're bringing back another Creative Juice sketch. And so this one, I think you can see what the sketch is going to be. We're just going to be using a little diagonal image there, just some simple measurements. This one I used designer series paper. This one I did some dry embossing. Can you see those great flowers in the background? And just added a die cut image here, die cut image here. This is like a quick. This can be anything. And I'd love for you guys to create along with me next week. And you can decide what designer series paper do you want to do, or what embossed cardstock do you want to do? What image do you want to be here? It's all up to your creativity. We just need an image. We need these strips and some ink stamps. We're good to go. So yeah, I hope you guys can join me for that card, because it's going to be a fun one. All right. Thank you all so much for sticking with me for 3 cards today. They were a lot of fun. I had a great time sharing those with you. Brenda, thank you. I saw you popping up all those measurements. Oh,
yep, I wanted to show, several people asked what this was. This is the adhesive remover. You see, it's just a little square rubber block, basically. And you can get them on Amazon, and you can pick them up at most dollar stores. So,
yeah, and I have one that's usually sitting here on my desk, but if you crafters are anything like me, who knows where that landed. And of course, with 3 cards today, you can imagine my desk is a hot mess right now. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, those little adhesive removers are amazing. Yeah, Amazon, and they're really inexpensive. So yeah, pick up 1 or 2 while you're at it. You know, yeah, I think you're really going to love having those. Just like an eraser. You just rub it on the back of the adhesive where you've messed up, because we've all done that. You saw me do it twice. So yeah, definitely grab yourself one of those. It's a lifesaver. All right. I can't wait to stamp with you guys next week. Be sure to tune in to my Tuesday tip. It's probably like the best one of all of them. You guys have really been enjoying the hack videos, but my last one is the best. Okay, so you're going to want to check out that one. That will be ready for you on Tuesday morning. That'll be Tuesday the 9th. No, yes, Tuesday the 9th. That sounds right. Yeah. And I hope you guys will join me live on August 11th, and we're going to create those great Creative Juice cards. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for dealing with my crazy dogs. They've always done so good, just not today. But, you know, the best part of crafting with your dogs is having them come up and lay next to your feet and love on you while you're working. It's always kind of nice. So thank you again for being here. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye. Have a good week.